The next concept, fundamental concept of extension is helping the farmers to make a decision. So, this is a science which assists, helps farmers to take a good decision, appropriate decision at the right time. Well, I have to remind all of my young friends here that extension is not a science that stands alone, in the sense the time of our existence and farming is an important attribution. In the sense, the geographical area and the production and other aspects of cultivation is an important contributor. And thirdly, and most importantly, the technology that is being introduced into the system also influences extension. So to say, if I would like to put it in an abstract term, I would say time, territory and technology are the three important contexts or situation in which extension functions. So coming back to what I was talking about, that is on helping a farmer to make a decision. Assume that a farmer comes to the extension worker and asks, "Sir, I would like to start a dairy farm. Please help me." It's the responsibility of the extension worker, whether he is a veterinarian, whether he is a dairy extension worker or an agricultural extension officer or a fisheries officer, to explain on what should be the procedure followed and what are the certificates and other aspects that he should be looking into, including the various managemental, breeding, feeding aspects of the animal. Now, that would mean the extension worker should have a good knowledge on the content on what he is practicing. For example, if I am practicing veterinary extension or livestock extension, I should have a sound knowledge on what are the dairy cows available, how is its performance, why does it perform well and why doesn't perform well, which cow or which variety of the cow would be appropriate for the type of farmer who is coming and asking me for the help, where is he going for the market, is he happy with the market, what are the feeds that I should be giving. That means in general you should have a sound knowledge. The content should be very strong for the extension worker. Now, whether is this content going to be the same? No. As the agrarian situations change, as socio-political situations change in a country, as production and production priorities change in a country, the concepts also change. Which would mean the extension worker should be well abreast with the changes that are happening in the agrarian and related allied fields, which he has to comprehend first, integrate it into his knowledge, and then translate that for the farmers who are coming for help. So to say, the second one I was talking about is on decision making, which is a very complex and important aspect of extension science. To help a person to take a good decision, there's a great responsibility vested on the extension worker. He needs to search and find out the options for the farmer. Like if a dairy farmer comes to me and says, okay, I want to expand a farm. As an extension worker, I should be asking on simple questions, which generally we forget on. Why do you want to expand? What are your priorities? What are your feed formulations that you have on your own? Where are you going to sell the milk? Are you going to do it yourself or in an integrated manner? Probably the farmer would not have thought about certain things. Probably the farmer may not know the options that are available, and he might be working among uncertainties. So the extension worker's job is not to add on to uncertainties, but to reduce uncertainties and help him take a decision. The extension worker doesn't take a decision. The most important aspect is that the extension worker should be able to give him a choice of options. Look, let us work together and say, okay, these are the options that when I discuss with you, these are the options that are opening in front of me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, to your real life situation, why don't you choose one or any of these, or let us work again. So, coming back to the point, the second important aspect of extension science is helping people to take sound decisions. And decision making is a very, very difficult and complicated process because it involves a lot of behavioral aspects of individuals. I take a decision based upon my personality and my environment. So my personality makes me at sometimes an entrepreneur. I am ready to take a risk. My friend may not be able to take a risk. It's an inherent nature of an individual. I may be ready to come out and work with you as a team, but another person may not be. Which would mean extension science is a science that needs to look into the behavioral aspects of people. Why does a person behave in this sense? For example, psychology. Why does an institution behave in the sense, for example, there is a milk cooperative society, an agricultural producers cooperative society. All these are institutions in a village. Why does the institutions do this in this way? That would mean that you need to know a little bit about sociology. How do you manage things? Management. What is the profit or loss involved? Economics. Which would mean that extension science is drawing a lot of inferences from the behavioral sciences around and building a science of its own. So if you look at extension science, you will find that there are lots of behavioral sciences components involved in the makeup of the science, along with which it will have a lot of research drawn into that, the findings of research. Along with that, a very important one is the accumulated experience of people. So I have to say, the content of extension is drawn basically from these three aspects: the research, accumulated experiences, and behavioral sciences. So, one, helping people to help themselves. Number two, helping them to make sound decisions within uncertainties and changing agricultural policies. One of the definitions which I would recommend you would be by Van den Ban and Hawkins. Van den Ban and Hawkins, the Netherlands group, which states that extension is the conscious use of communication of information to help people form sound opinions and make good decisions. I will repeat once again: conscious use of communication of information to help people to form sound opinions and make good decisions. So ultimately, the extension science is a science that helps farmers, entrepreneurs in the present times to make sound opinions and good decisions, and it demands that you communicate consciously in a very effective manner. Adding one more point to that would be the latest one, which says the extension science should also help farmers in capturing the value chain involved which means in the present day, market is also seen as an extension of farm. So when you talk about extension science today should be good enough, sound enough to address the farming concerns and market concerns.